Welcome, dear friends, to a journey that promises to unveil the profound mysteries enshrined within the words of Jesus Christ. Imagine, if you will, standing on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, the sun gently kissing the horizon as the crowd gathers around a man whose words carry the essence of divine truth. Here, in the midst of eager souls, Jesus proclaims, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." Matthew 7, verse 7. These words hold a promise so vast, they echo across time, touching the hearts of those who yearn for miracles. Today, we delve into the spiritual tapestry that weaves together the law of attraction with these biblical teachings, uncovering the cheat code for miracles, a code that is accessible to anyone willing to open their heart to its wisdom. Let us begin with a story, a tale of a young woman named Sarah. Sarah had always felt a deep void within her soul, a yearning for something greater than her current reality. Despite her struggles, she held onto the belief that life had more to offer, that somewhere within her was the key to unlocking her dreams. One day, while reading the scriptures, she stumbled upon the verse from Matthew. Something within her stirred, and she decided to test these words, to see if they truly held the power to transform her life. Sarah realized that asking was more than mere words. It was an act of faith. She began by visualizing her dreams clearly, painting a picture in her mind of the life she aspired to lead. This visualization was not just an idle fantasy, but a prayer, a sincere request sent out into the universe. She understood that to ask was to declare her intention, to send ripples into the vast ocean of creation. The law of attraction teaches us that like attracts like. When we align our thoughts and emotions with our desires, we set in motion the forces of the universe, much like Jesus' teachings suggest. In biblical terms, asking is akin to planting a seed in fertile soil, trusting that it will grow in due time. But planting the seed is only the beginning. It requires care, faith, and patience. Sarah embarked on the next phase of her journey, seeking. This was not a passive waiting, but an active quest for opportunities, knowledge, and growth. She immersed herself in study, seeking wisdom from both spiritual texts and personal mentors. Her heart remained open, her mind receptive. With every step, she felt the subtle guiding hand of divine providence, steering her closer to her dreams. In the Bible, seeking is not merely about finding material gains, but about discovering one's true self and purpose. Jesus emphasized seeking the kingdom of God above all else, promising that everything else would fall into place. Matthew 6, verse 33. For Sarah, seeking became a path of self-discovery, a journey towards understanding her divine purpose and the unique gifts she was meant to share with the world. Now, let us turn to the final act, knocking. Imagine standing before a grand door, the threshold to your dreams. Knocking is the act of persistence, of not giving up when faced with closed doors or apparent failures. Sarah experienced setbacks, moments of doubt that threatened her resolve. Yet she remembered the promise that those who knock will have the door open to them. In this spiritual dance, knocking symbolizes perseverance and resilience. It is the unwavering faith that behind every door waiting to be opened is a miracle designed just for you. In biblical terms, it represents the relentless pursuit of God's promises, knowing that our persistence will be rewarded. As Sarah continued to ask, seek and knock, she noticed a transformation within herself. Her external circumstances began to shift, aligning more closely with the vision she held in her heart. Opportunities appeared like stars in the night sky, and blessings flowed into her life in ways she had never anticipated. The teachings of Jesus on asking, seeking, and knocking reveal a profound truth about the nature of miracles. They are not distant, unattainable phenomena, but are within reach, woven into the fabric of our existence. By aligning our desires with divine will, by maintaining faith and taking inspired action, we unlock the cheat code to manifesting our deepest dreams. As we close this first part of our exploration, remember that the power to create miracles lies within each of us. We are co-creators with the divine, capable of shaping our reality through the power of faith, intention, and action. Let us embrace the teachings of Jesus, not as distant ideals, but as living truths, guiding us towards a life of abundance, purpose, and joy. Sarah's journey was a testament to the transformative power of faith and perseverance. The more she embraced the teachings of Jesus, the more she realized that she was not just a passive recipient of divine blessings, but an active participant in her co-creation with God. This realization was deeply empowering, instilling in her a renewed sense of purpose and determination. In the realm of spiritual growth, Sarah discovered the importance of gratitude. Gratitude, she learned, is the fertile ground where the seeds of our desires can take root and flourish. As she cultivated a heart of gratitude, she noticed her perspective shifted from one of scarcity to one of abundance. This shift was not just about material wealth, but an abundance of love, joy, and peace. The Bible reminds us of the power of gratitude in Philippians 4 verse 6-7, where it encourages us to present our requests to God with thanksgiving, promising the peace of God will guard our hearts and minds. With each prayer of thanks, Sarah felt her connection to the divine strengthen. She began to see the fingerprints of God in every aspect of her life, from the smallest blessings to the grandest miracles. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing the extraordinary in the ordinary. Her journey also led her to embrace the concept of surrender, a lesson taught by Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane when he prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done," Luke 22, verse 42. Surrender was not about giving up, but about trusting the divine plan, even when it diverged from her own expectations. It was about releasing control and allowing the flow of divine wisdom to guide her steps. In moments of uncertainty, Sarah found solace in surrender. She learned that while she could plant seeds and nurture them, the timing and manner of their growth were in God's hands. This understanding brought her a profound sense of peace, freeing her from the burden of having to orchestrate every detail of her life. One day, as Sarah reflected on her journey, she realized how far she had come. The dreams she once held as distant fantasies had manifested into her reality. She was living a life that was not only fulfilling, but also aligned with her highest self. The law of attraction, intertwined with biblical teachings, had opened a path of divine partnership, a collaboration with God, in which her dreams were not just her own, but part of a greater tapestry of purpose. Her story serves as an inspiring reminder to all of us that we are never alone in our journey. We are supported by a loving Creator who delights in our dreams and desires, who invites us to dream boldly and live courageously. As Sarah's tale comes to its next chapter, let us take to heart the lesson of faith in action. The journey of asking, seeking, and knocking is ongoing, a lifelong dance of creation and connection. With each new desire, there will be new opportunities to ask, seek, and knock, to grow and evolve. In your own life, embrace the power of intention, the magic of gratitude, and the peace of surrender. Remember the promise of Jeremiah 29, verse 11, that God has plans to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. Trust that your path is illuminated by His love, and every step you take is guided by a divine purpose. As we journey together, let's hold fast to the truth that miracles are not reserved for the saints of old, but are the birthright of every child of God. They are waiting to be realized through the power of faith, belief, and the courage to act. Through this understanding, we can unlock the doors to our dreams and live a life of true abundance and joy. As Sarah continued on her journey, she began to witness the intricate ways in which the divine orchestrated her life. The transformation she experienced was not just a personal victory, but a testament to the divine symphony in which we all play a part. Each note, each harmony was a reflection of the divine plan that was unfolding before her. In her newfound awareness, Sarah noticed more divine appointments, those moments that seemed too perfectly timed to be mere coincidence. She encountered people who needed just what she had to offer, and when she needed guidance, a gentle nudge from the universe appeared, often in the form of a book, a sermon, or a conversation that provided exactly what she needed at that moment. This synchronicity reminded her of the profound truth expressed in Romans 8, verse 28, where it is written, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Sarah realized that even when things didn't go according to her plan, they were still aligning with a higher purpose, a purpose that God had woven into the fabric of her existence. Throughout her journey, Sarah found a deep sense of fulfillment in serving others. She embraced the calling to be a vessel of love and light, understanding that her blessings were not meant to be hoarded, but shared. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25, verse 14-30, reinforced her conviction that her gifts and resources were entrusted to her for a greater purpose. By investing them in others, she was not only multiplying her blessings, but enriching the lives of those around her. This shift towards service brought Sarah joy beyond measure. The act of giving expanded her heart, making room for more blessings to flow into her life. As she gave of her time, her wisdom, and her love, she was enriched in return, experiencing the truth of Proverbs 11, verse 25. "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." In the quiet moments of her day, Sarah practiced the art of stillness. She carved out time to listen for the gentle whispers of the divine. In the silence, she found clarity and direction. It was in these moments that she felt most connected to the source of all creation, drawing strength and inspiration from the wellspring of God's love. Through meditation and prayer, Sarah cultivated a deep inner peace. She learned to quiet the noise of the world and tune into the frequency of her heart, where the voice of the Creator could be heard. The words of Psalm 46, verse 10 became her mantra. Be still and know that I am God. This stillness allowed her to release the chaos of her mind and embrace the serenity of her spirit. As Sarah's life unfolded, she discovered the power of community. She connected with others who shared her beliefs and values, forming a support network that encouraged and uplifted her. In Hebrews 10, verse 24 to 25, the importance of community is emphasized. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, but encouraging one another. With her community, Sarah found strength in unity. Together they celebrated successes, supported each other through challenges, and grew in their spiritual journeys. This fellowship became a source of joy and inspiration, reminding Sarah that she was never alone in her quest for a life of purpose and meaning. Sarah's story is a beacon of hope for all of us. It reminds us that by aligning ourselves with divine principles, we can transform our lives and the world around us. The combination of faith, gratitude, surrender, service, and community forms a powerful foundation for living abundantly and authentically. As you reflect on this journey, consider how these principles might manifest in your own life. Where can you practice more gratitude, surrender more fully, or offer your gifts and service to others? How might you cultivate a deeper connection with your Creator and those around you? Remember, the journey of transformation is ongoing. Each day is a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more aligned with your divine purpose. Trust in the process and the unfolding of your life, for it is guided by a love that transcends all understanding. May you walk forward with courage, knowing that all things are possible for those who believe. As you step into your own story, may you embrace the miracles waiting to unfold and the abundant life that is your birthright. You are a child of God, and your journey is blessed. As Sarah continued to embrace this transformative journey, she began to realize the profound impact of forgiveness, both for herself and for others. She understood that holding on to resentment and past hurts was like carrying a heavy burden that weighed down her spirit. In Mark 11, verse 25, she found solace and guidance. And when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you your sins. Forgiveness became a powerful tool for her, a way to cleanse her heart and release the chains of the past. It was not always easy, as some wounds were deep, but each act of letting go brought her closer to the freedom and peace she longed for. Through prayer and meditation, Sarah would envision the faces of those she needed to forgive, and with each breath, she released them into the loving hands of God. This practice brought about a profound transformation within her. As she forgave, she felt lighter and more present. The past no longer held her captive, and she was free to step boldly into her future. Forgiveness also opened her heart to greater compassion and empathy, allowing her to see others through a lens of love and understanding. As her journey progressed, Sarah discovered the importance of vision. She learned that having a clear vision for her life was essential in manifesting her desires. Proverbs 29, verse 18 reminded her, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Inspired by this wisdom, She spent time in reflection, imagining the life she wished to create, filled with purpose, love, and joy. She created a vision board, a tangible representation of her dreams and goals. It was an inspiring collage of images and words that resonated with her deepest aspirations. Each day she would gaze at her board, immersing herself in the feelings of having already achieved her desires. This practice intensified her belief in the possibilities before her, aligning her energy with the life she envisioned. With her vision clear, Sarah also understood the necessity of action. She realized that faith without works is incomplete. As James 2, verse 17 states, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." She began to take inspired steps towards her dreams, trusting that each action, no matter how small, was moving her closer to her goals. Sarah's actions were guided by faith and intuition. She listened to the quiet whispers of her heart and followed them with courage. Whether it was enrolling in a new course, starting a project, or reaching out to someone new, each step was a testament to her commitment to her vision. She knew that the universe would respond to her faith-driven efforts by opening doors and presenting opportunities. As she advanced, Sarah encountered obstacles, as all journeys do. Yet, her newfound faith and trust provided her with resilience. When faced with challenges, she turned to Isaiah 40, verse 31. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." These words fortified her spirit, reminding her that perseverance would lead her to triumph. The journey taught Sarah the beauty of patience. She realized that divine timing was at play, and her role was to remain steadfast and trust in the process. As she waited, she cultivated gratitude for the present moment, recognizing that each day brought her closer to her dreams. The delay was not a denial but a preparation for the fullness of her blessings. In her reflections, Sarah understood that her journey was not solely for her benefit. It was a testament to the power of faith and the promise of abundance that awaited all who believe. Her story became a source of inspiration to those around her, a light that encouraged others to embark on their own spiritual transformations. Sarah's life was a living example of Romans 8, verse 28. "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Her trials and triumphs were woven together into a beautiful tapestry, illustrating the divine plan that was unfolding perfectly. As she continued to walk her path, Sarah's heart overflowed with gratitude. She was grateful for the lessons, the growth, and the love that surrounded her. Her story was a reflection of what is possible when one aligns with the divine and embraces the journey with faith and love. For all who hear her story, may it serve as a reminder that you too are capable of great transformation. Your life is filled with infinite potential and guided by a loving Creator who desires only the best for you. Embrace your journey with an open heart. Trust in the process and know that you are never alone. May you find peace in the stillness, courage in the action, and joy in the service. And as you step boldly into the life you are meant to live, may you always remember that you are a cherished child of God, destined for greatness. As Sarah continued on her journey, she began to notice the interconnectedness of all things. She saw how every encounter, every challenge, and every triumph was intricately woven into her life's purpose. Her heart began to overflow with compassion, not just for herself, but for everyone she met along the way. She realized that her journey was part of a larger tapestry that included the lives and stories of others. This understanding deepened her faith and expanded her vision for what was possible. One evening, as Sarah reflected under the vast starry sky, she felt a profound sense of peace. She was reminded of Psalm 46, verse 10, "Be still and know that I am God." In the stillness, she found clarity, realizing that her life was not just about achieving her dreams, but about embodying love and light in her everyday interactions. It was about being a vessel through which God's love could flow to others. With this revelation, Sarah decided to dedicate a portion of her time to service. She volunteered at local shelters, offered her skills to community projects, and simply listened to those who needed a kind ear. She found that when she gave freely, she received immeasurable joy in return. Her acts of kindness were not grand gestures, but small, everyday actions infused with intention and love. And in those moments, she felt a deep connection to the divine. Sarah's life became a beautiful balance of receiving and giving. She was living proof of Acts 20, verse 35. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Her generosity was not just of material means, but of spirit, sharing her wisdom, her kindness, and her presence. This practice of giving opened her heart even further, allowing her to receive more of the universe's abundance. As time went on, Sarah found herself surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals who were inspired by her journey. Together, they formed a supportive network, lifting each other up and sharing in each other's successes and struggles. It was a testament to the power of collective belief and shared purpose, echoing the sentiment of Matthew 18, verse 20. "For where two or three gather in my name, there am I with them." The community became a sanctuary where dreams were nurtured and faith was strengthened. They celebrated each milestone, no matter how small, and held space for each other during times of uncertainty. Sarah understood that her journey was not just about personal fulfillment, but about contributing to a greater good. Her story inspired others to step into their own light, to trust in the divine plan, and to act from a place of love. Through her experiences, Sarah learned that setbacks and failures were not signs of defeat, but opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. She began to see these moments as God's way of redirecting her towards something greater. Romans 5, verse 3-4 resonated with her. "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Her resilience grew stronger with each hurdle, and her character was shaped by the lessons she embraced. She found hope in the promise that everything was unfolding as it should, and this hope became a beacon for those around her. Her life was a testament to the transformative power of faith, action, and love. As Sarah looked back on her journey, she realized that it was never just about reaching a destination, but about who she became in the process. Her story was a reflection of divine grace, reminding her that she was always guided and supported. She knew that the path ahead was still filled with unknowns, but she faced it with confidence, knowing she was never alone. Sarah's legacy was one of faith and love, a beacon of hope for those who walk similar paths. Her life inspired others to trust in their dreams, to take bold actions, and to live with open hearts. As she continued to move forward, she carried with her the wisdom and strength she had gained, always grounded in the eternal truth that she was loved and destined for greatness. In the quiet moments when doubt tried to creep in, Sarah returned to her source of strength, the unwavering belief that she was exactly where she needed to be. She held on to the promise of Jeremiah 29 verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Sarah's journey was far from over, but she embraced each step with joy, knowing that every moment was a gift. Her story was a testament to the boundless possibilities that await when we align with our true selves and the divine. For those who heard her story, it was a reminder to live boldly, love deeply, and trust unwaveringly in the beautiful plan that God has set before us.